We're over at Washington-on-the-Brazos and looking at the Texas Independence Hall, where the Texas all gathered to declare independence. And then we're here at the house of, who's this? Ansel who? Ansel Adams?
Anson Jones.
Anson Jones, who was the last president of the Republic of Texas. Plow team going out here at the Barrington farm, so it's part of the kind of the cultural experience. They're having trouble getting the cattle, the bulls, to do what they want, and now we're finding out why people use tractors today. Nice breezeway going through the middle. Texas air conditioning.
That's good. Better than AC.
Yeah, and it really is blowing through here. It's whipping through. They got rooms on both sides of this central open area. Yeah, your hair is whipping there. Explore the sights and sounds of an 1850s farm with frequent demonstrations, period costumes, games, and examples of all the buildings and practices used in livestock and crop cultivation. Nice. Are you? You're riding around in your little horsey. Nice.
Oh, he's a natural. Yeah, look at you. Hours of fun.
That goes into that locks the door?
They hammered it through, put a loop, so open it. There's the steel. They hammered on there and then the lock.
That's cool. And that's the smokehouse right there.
Keep out the hungry coyotes, but not the hungry homeless.
Hammer the tube in it, same thing on
Is that like an automatic gate with a cannonball?
Nail lock.
Make it go.
Well, it didn't really work. Or maybe it does for way out.
Oh. It needs a little more, yeah, it helps at the end there.
It keeps it shut, basically.
Yeah. After a quick lunch, we're heading over to the old town site in Texas Independence Hall for a 1-hour history lesson and guided tour.
Folks, as I said, this is the location of the city of Washington, Texas. What you're standing on is literally Main Street.
Washington-on-the-Brazos dates to 1821, when Andrew Robinson settled here. Robinson and his family were one of Stephen F. Austin's first settlers in Texas, the Old 300. The Spanish and then Mexican government had encouraged immigration from the U.S. as a way to prevent French encroachment into Texas.
1821 is important to Texas because that's when Mexico became independent from Spain. Mexico gains their independence, forms a republic made up of states, just like the United States. And one of those states in northern Mexico is called Coahuila y Tejas. Under agreement with the Mexican government, impresarios like Stephen F. Austin, the father of Texas, brought in settlers from the United States into this part of northern Mexico, and they came on this road right over here.
We're on the La Bahia Trail, one of the original highways into and out of Texas, running from Goliad to Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Oh, wait, Natchitoches.
Texas travelers would have taken this road from Natchitoches to San Augustine and Nacogdoches, crossing the Brazos River at Washington, then on to San Antonio or La Bahia, today's Goliad. Today the road runs right through the middle of Chuck Norris's ranch.
Chuck Norris is? There's a ranch just north of here. That trail goes right through the middle of his ranch.
In 1824, Mexico passed a constitution similar to that of the United States, making it easy for people to immigrate from the U.S. to Mexico. Land was cheap and abundant, costing only 12.5 cents per acre. Settlers steadily moved in. By 1830, Andrew Robinson had established a ferry across the Brazos River, charging $2 a trip. Here's what is this, the old ferry?
Visually. Well, there it is.
You can see kind of, yeah.
Line up the river with
yeah, it's...
That's how big the river is. No wonder he had a ferry. Make some money of that.
And steamships that came up here to deliver cotton. He also opened the original Magnolia Hotel on the spot and worked to develop the area by being the first to bring cottonseed to Texas. This success continually increased immigration from the U.S. The U.S. government even made offers to purchase Texas.
And the Mexican government got worried about that. So in 1830, they passed a law against any further immigration from the United States. Ironically, they even talked about building a fence between Texas and Louisiana to stop the flow of illegal aliens into Texas. How ironic is that?
In 1832, General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna came to power in Mexico. He initially was admired by the Texans. He settled immigration incidents and supported the Constitution of 1824. But things changed. By 1835, Santa Anna was elected president, and the Mexican government suspended the Constitution. For the next 40 years, Santa Anna would be in and out of Mexican politics, supporting different sides at different times. But in 1835, he would become the military dictator of Mexico. In the 1830s, Washington-on-the-Brazos was like a 2x3 gridded out town, and they asked the leaders of the Republic of Texas to meet here. They would give them a free meeting hall. They could come and talk about what to do about the independence of Texas and what was happening with the Mexican government. The meeting hall was free, but unfinished. There were no panes in the windows, and March 1836 was bitterly cold. Sheets from the hotel were hung in the windows to keep out the wind. Dissatisfaction with Santa Anna had exploded into open revolt with incidents at Gonzales, Goliad, and San Antonio de Bexar. 59 delegates gathered to discuss options. By March 2, 1836, the delegates had written and signed a formal Declaration of Independence. Just a few short days later, when they had begun work on the new Texas Constitution, they heard the news. Santa Anna had brought the Mexican army into Texas and had begun a siege on the Alamo. The delegates immediately wanted to depart to aid the defense of the Alamo, but newly appointed General Sam Houston urged them to stay to finish the new Constitution and provide a basis for governing the new Republic of Texas. Okay, 59 delegates are meeting. The Declaration of Independence stated, "When a government has ceased to protect the lives, liberty, and property of the people from whom its legitimate powers are derived, and for the advancement of whose happiness it was instituted, and becomes an instrument in the hands of evil rulers for their oppression, when the federal republican constitution of their country, which they have sworn to support, no longer has a substantial existence, and the whole nature of their government has been forcibly changed, without their consent, from a restrictive federative republic composed of sovereign states to a consolidated central military despotism. In such a crisis, the first law of nature, the right of self-preservation, the inherent and inalienable rights of the people to appeal to the first principles, enjoins it as a right towards themselves and a sacred obligation to their posterity to abolish such government." The Mexican government, by its colonization laws, invited and induced the Anglo-American population of Texas to colonize its wilderness, under the pledged faith of a written constitution, that they should continue to enjoy that constitutional liberty and republican government to which they had been habituated in the land of their birth, the United States of America. In this expectation, they have been cruelly disappointed. Inasmuch as the Mexican nation has acquiesced in the late changes made in the government by General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, who, having overturned the constitution of his country, now offers us the cruel alternative, either abandon our homes, acquired by so many privations, or submit to the most intolerable of all tyranny, the combined despotism of the sword and the priesthood. We are therefore forced to the melancholy conclusion that the Mexican people have acquiesced in the destruction of their liberty, and the substitution, therefore, of a military government, that they are unfit to be free and incapable of self-government. We do hereby resolve and declare that our political connection with the Mexican nation has forever ended. Nice job. Yeah. It was a fascinating history of Texas.
Long live the Republic.
That was interesting.
It was, yeah, it was cool.
I connected it to U.S. history.
Now a little bit about Washington-on-the-Brazos. In the 1840s, it was a cotton town with a population of about 2,000 people. It was the furthest navigable point inland on the Brazos River, so cotton could easily be transported by water from here. The only building left today is the rainwater cistern of the former 3-story Austin Hotel.
That's the only structure left over from what was a town of almost 2,000 people.
Here's the street, Ferry Street we're on, and they've got all of the old store names and storefronts. We found out that when the railroad was coming in to replace the ferries on the river, the town of Washington decided not to have a rail facility come into their property, and so that was they already had the river. So after their town declined because they didn't have any business anymore, they all moved all the buildings to the town north and the town south of here, to Brenham and Navasota. Miles and miles of wildflowers. You guys enjoy that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It was great.
Brendan and Amanda loved it.
Yeah. Here's the guy who wrote the Texas Constitution.
Yeah, remember the northern road? Yeah, it was 36 degrees.
Childress.
He's sad because he can't read it.
What was that story?
He wrote the Constitution
Texas.
from all lots of different constitutions.
Based.
Put it together. Came to read it and couldn't read his own handwriting, and so they made him go home that night and like rewrite it. So it was
Texas
neater.
Independence Day is
Which
March
that doesn't make a
2nd.
lot of sense because if he could
Instead
sit
of
down
March
and rewrite it.
Well, he probably was stumbling. Like, you know,
It's
he's like,
it was stressful in front of all those people, you know?
What is that? The things that are self-evident.
They wouldn't be able to read it too before they signed it.
So Texas Independence Day is now, yeah. Texas Independence Day is March 2nd instead of March 1st because of that. Okay.
Yes.
Tell my students that story.
It is not a mullet. I will defend him on that one. No 18-wheelers.
Dude, it's Lombard Street. Well, from Washington-on-the-Brazos, we took an accidental Texas history tour down the back roads to Independence. So Baylor was originally in Independence, and then because they wouldn't let the railroad in, Baylor moved to Waco. Wow.
Former Independence resident Sam Houston.
Now we're at the Antique Rose Emporium. So it's not antiques, it's antique roses.
Big wind chime.
Beautiful.